First of all, welcome, Helena. Welcome to the UK, and specifically welcome to Birmingham and MSD UK 2018. Could you start off by telling us a little bit about your business, Cummins, what it is you're known for, what it is you are here today and over the last couple of days to talk about?
Well, thank you for the welcome to Birmingham. As I mentioned, I hadn't been here before, so it's been a nice introduction to a suburb, essentially, of London, and I've enjoyed it very much. As far as our business, we're here for the MSD UK conference for 2018, and we have a booth, and we're also here for the panel for judging the innovation competition. The company that I work for, Cummins, is a global company. We're in about over 140 countries and billion-dollar company. And most people don't know Cummins because we don't do lots of marketing and advertising. We have really kind of a following for people that enjoy our products. Our products are diesel engines. We now have hybrid engines, and we have power systems business unit, which has generators. So we have customers from the companies that have the big commercial vehicles on the highways to customers that need generators to power their office systems and things like that. We also have a group which is a components business unit, and that business has products like our after treatment or filters or turbos. And finally, we have a new group, which is the electrification business unit, and that's to support our the electrical and different types of engines that complement the hybrid and or the diesel engines.
Okay. You were talking to me earlier the fact that you don't do a great deal of marketing and promotional in the traditional sense, but you do have this following, which is down to the culture you have through the business. Where does the diversity, and particularly the supply diversity in the procurement side of things, come into that culture? Has it been driven from the start?
It's been driven from the start by our leadership and our founders. There's actually footage of some of our leaders. Erwin Miller, it was one of our leaders in the 60s, and he marched with Martin Luther King. And if you recall, Cummins is a company that's based in Indiana, which is interesting because for the U.S., in Indiana, it's not known as a very progressive state. It's actually known as being a very conservative state. And some have said the founding of the Ku Klux Klan, for example, was in Indiana. And why I raise that is because, to me, it really speaks to our culture and how diversity matters to us and why it's so successful. So to me, when I even took this job and I started researching about Cummins' history and the area, Cummins was a vocal proponent of diversity during times when our state had folks that were against diversity and inclusion. And so notwithstanding the fact that legislators and people didn't purport to want to include others, Cummins was really a beacon in the Midwest and certainly in Indiana for inclusion, where it matters for our employment, for our employee base, where we want people to have different thoughts and views, different educational backgrounds. It matters for our suppliers. And so when I think about it, I think about, basically like a huge ship, and that is a huge ship that is global, like a tanker. And you need to have processes and systems in place in order to deliver your products and succeed and get everybody working in the same way. But if you have everybody so focused on the same processes and approach, then who's thinking about really how to have new products and new cutting edge and developing technology if we're all focused on making sure that we follow the processes and systems for a manufacturing company? Well, for diversity, and for the diverse suppliers, I think that's where they come in because they're smaller. They're the ones that come from all kinds of different backgrounds. And when they come to us, they bring their ideas and their thoughts and different ways of doing things. They don't even know often about our methodical Six Sigma and other processes. They just come with new kinds of ways of doing things. And so for us with diversity, and especially in the supplier space, it's just an energetic, creative way to bring different ways of making our products competitive and innovative for our customers in the marketplace.
You have a legal background,
yes,
which is more to do with processing. And then you're saying Cummins has its manufacturing history as well. Is the supply diversity applicable across the board, whatever sector you're in? How simple is it is it easier to put into certain sectors than it is to others, or is it perfectly applicable to everybody?
I think it's applicable to really any area. I think the challenges are scale. So when you're working with a global company, certainly we try to maximize the value we get from our suppliers. So on one hand, often it's simpler to have one company that has a global footprint, yet that doesn't then foster really a diverse supply base. So we focus on parallel sourcing and dual sourcing so that we're not just focusing on one supplier. So for diverse suppliers, that's really the opportunity so that they can get in, even if they're not global, they can get in to our supply chain on a regional basis, or as I started, as I was discussing with respect to products, they get into our supply chain by partnering with different technology that we have and that they have. So I think it depends. So for example, and that's probably a legal answer, right? It depends, of course. But with respect to the different products, we certainly buy products from treasury services to machining and kitting and assembly. So it's really a wide variety of services and partners. And what I find is the diverse suppliers that are most successful are the ones that don't offer the traditional services. And even if they do, they're able to explain their services in a way that helps us understand how they improve our supply chain. Mm-hmm. And that's the differentiator no matter what area of supplier diversity or supply chain.
I heard someone say that outside, actually, during the opening address. It was not what you do, it's what you deliver that makes a difference to your clients based.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. And I think that's maybe what these smaller businesses are focusing on very well.
Yeah.
You've been walking around the show, you've seen lots of different people. I mean, there must be all sorts of things going on there. Has there been anything that's taken your eye at all?
Yes, there's a couple companies. One company that that were part of the Tuck program, an Aston program, and part of some of the folks that we brought about up to 5 companies here from South Africa to experience the educational program. And one of the participants has a good way to bring people to his booth. And so basically they have a giant teddy bear, and you have to guess the weight of the entire team to win it. And so for some reason, I think it was their charisma and it was related to their products and services, which are marketing services. So that was kind of fun. Okay. Yeah. And what I liked actually about that company was, and I think it's called the Curious Agency, was that they, about the company was that they also show the profit and the revenue that results from their services. And so I don't always see that with the different suppliers. Often they focus on what their services are, or sometimes the differentiators, but not the value to the customer. And to me, should companies show the value that, so for example, I hire your services, not only will I have a good partner, but you will save us X amount of dollars. And it's a range, right? It's not a guarantee. Or you will enhance our revenue by X amount. And I think that's a really great, attractive way to communicate with the different customers.
And certainly if you're a smaller supplier, more agile way of thinking, you're not so afraid to maybe go that extra mile and make those claims and substantiate them.
Yeah, it's a nice teaser.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed being here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. But for now, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Nice speaking with you. Thank you so much. Thank you.